So welcome to today's session. You started learning your GUI, AWT, Rover, Abstract Windowing Toolkit. Swing is the next pack that will give you soft components for your development. As well as AWT is completely based upon the native Java platform, but Swing that it could be able to compile on all the platforms. I need JNI if I need to run my applet, but I don't need JNI for Swing. Can run as usual like a normal program. That how you will execute. That's the case. Okay. I thought of giving this session at the end, but most of the students are daily interacting with me through WhatsApp regarding their projects. So I suggest we could bring this session somewhat earlier. Even we have some more detailed discussion also in projects once if we complete the portion on daily basis that we could be able to discuss in the regular class itself about the projects. Okay, so no need to worry about that. So this session that I'm going to give you orientation for GUI based projects. In some of the projects we have incorporated multi-threading also, right? So we try to encompass whatever we have learned in previous chapters. That could be in the incremental fashion. Okay, so that's the reason that I have incorporated all these things here. So this could be your first project, right? Some minimal amount of work. So what are all the things that I have to consider to construct this? So the primary thing, if I want to design a calculator, ultimately if I am going to click one button, the corresponding even has to happen. So even handling also is there, because while I'm going to click equal to button, what will happen? It will give the result of the operation being performed using the operands and operators whatever I have used before I am going to click my equal to operator, right? So that's the case. That's the primary case, that I have to use button. I have to use the number of buttons. I have to incorporate even for button. Okay, these three things are mandatory. Okay, for displaying the value, what I have to use. So advisable to use is text box or text area. If you are going for a scientific calculator, I'll advise you to go for text area, because we can customize that length and breadth. While you are going for your text box, you can control, but I don't find that won't be that won't give you that much sophisticated properties and methods. That's the reason why I'm suggesting you to go for a text area, right? But if you are ready to work with the text box, no issues, right? So that's the case, right? So the controls, whatever we are going to use here, text box and the button, text box and button. These are all the controls I am going to use here. Where I am going to place these controls in the canvas. So no need to declare about the canvas. By default, the canvas will be there. But in the canvas, how I am going to arrange my GUI controls. So how many buttons are there? There are 16 buttons are there, along with the corresponding text box. So I need a person who has to arrange the controls in the environment. So who is that person? Nothing but layout manager. So layout manager will help me to arrange these components, right? So that could be the case. So this can be done through our grid layout. It's very easy, right? Grid layout is nothing but like a matrix format I could able to give for this, and I could do this. Okay, so where I have to write my even handling, whenever I'm going to click plus, what I have to do, I have to add two numbers, right? Likewise minus star slash, and I'm trying to calculate square of the given number, right? So that's also being calculated. So a simple customized calculator that we could be able to design. So when you are going for scientific calculator design, what you have to do, you need to try to incorporate the sine function, trigonometric functions. Again, go for log, right? Log and other x 1 by x and square root. So likewise you could be able to go for it, as well as you can go for a number system conversion, right? Base 2 to base 10, likewise for binary, octal, hexadecimal. So likewise you can proceed for that. Okay, so you could be able to try to do all the things that are available in your scientific calculator physically. You try to do that, right? That's also the basic thing. The only idea here is what are all the controls you are going to use, how you are going to arrange the controls, what are all the event handling methods we have to use. These are all the things that you have to take it into account. Okay, so that could be the main uh, thing that you have to take it forward. Now let us see this code, right? So how to design this? Yes, uh, the screen is visible, right? Shall I need to increase the font size? Right. So regarding AWT, so what are all the things that we have called it? Don't worry about all those things, right? Nothing to worry about that. For all those things, including this, the last line, right? Including this line and these lines. For this, simply you can mention import java.awt.star. If you mention that, everything will come inside the picture. So no need to worry about that. Okay. So there, what we are going to use here, we are combining. We are going to use the hybrid layout. That's what, because we are going to use grid layout as well as border layout. Grid layout will help me to arrange the controls in the matrix size. So border layout, I am going to keep a text box, right? So text box has to keep in the correct border. So in the border layout, they will be placing based upon the directions, north, south, east, west. Based upon that, I could able to keep my controls. That is the reason why this grid layout and border layout are being used. Okay. So action event, we are going to do that. Action listener, which button that I am going to press, that need to be listened, right? That's what action listener will happen. And these are all the soft controls from swing. So you could able to identify Java X. X represents that I'm going to use that swing components I'm going to use. So I'm using a Java frame, J frame, J panel, J text field, and J button. So these are all the controls that I'm ready to use. So here we are creating the object for the frame, panel, and text. So here we are using text field, right? Text field, and you could be able to see that. So I will suggest you, see here we have used void run. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? If I'm going to use void run, I'm trying to use my multi-threading. So please remember. Okay, and here some of the things that you have to remember. We will go with the buttons. Okay, we will go with the buttons. So I want to create the buttons. Right, I want to create the buttons, and I have to add it in the corresponding panel. And you need to see here that this is the place that they are generating the buttons. Okay, they are ready to generating the buttons 0 to 9. Okay, apart from that, they are generating the buttons for the, sorry, so the generated buttons are being added for the corresponding panel. So here the operations are being specified as well as for the equal to operation. So now we have to handle with the operations. So for which operation, which operand need to be called, and what I have to convey with that. right? So the operations are being given over like this. Even in this place, you can use the switch case also, right? Even you can go for switch case. You could able to customize it in a broad fashion. Okay. So because whatever we are going to receive in the text box or text field, it will be in the string only. That is the reason why by using wrapper class, we are converting into integer. Okay, so that could be the case. Okay, so that's the case for every content that what we are ready to do with it. For add number button, what I have to do. For add action button, what I have to do, right? So I need to, for every button that action listener must be there. Okay, so that could be the case. So action event and action listener could be the major one that will made you to work with. Action listener will help you to receive the argument. Action event will make the control to fire the input being received by the listener, right? So that could be the case will be incorporated on this, right? So here they have written the corresponding code for the operations as well as for the corresponding numbers also, right? So that has been given over in this. So this simple calculator can be extended for your corresponding content. See that here we have used the border layout properly. Border layout dot north. If you could able to see in the thing, see that it is in the north only, right? North, south, east, west. So in the north only, I have placed this corresponding text field that has been mentioned here, right? So the set size, what could be the visibility size of my calculator, right? All those things will get to be projected. So here we have created that 16 buttons, right? Using the grid layout. Okay. Here we are using the hybrid layout, right? Hybrid nothing but I am combining both the grid and the corresponding thing. So what I have did, first I have created text field. Next I have created all the 4 cross 4 16 buttons. That 16 buttons are going to be placed in the corresponding border layout that will be in the center. Okay, so along with the directions we have that center. So within the center I have placed this. Okay, so the complete set of buttons are being encompassed in the panel, right? So that could be the idea behind these things. So you could able to divide the work in a simple fashion, right? So if multiple number of options are going to be clicked, what will happen? It has to run in a proper way. Once if I'm going to complete one operation, the subsequent operation need to be carried out, right? So I may press equal to or I may not press equal to. That is my wish, right? Simply if I'm going to press 1 and equal to, what will the answer? It has to come as 1. So in that case, this even queue will help me a lot. Likewise, multiple number of operations are going to happen. It won't be performed simultaneously. In that case, this thread will create me the like my join, right? So it will make me to wait, let it to wait and proceed further. That could be the case that even queue will help me, right? So how would we execute this program? That could be the case. I think most of you will execute your program in the local, right? Using your JDK and packages. Now I will show you how to execute this program in online. So see, there is a special online compiler for this available. Most of the online compilers will not support, but I will show you. You can try it, but even you try with the IBM Eclipse, right? You try it for understanding purpose. Okay, no need to move for complete stretch over on this. So there you can type Java. In the address bar, I am typing Java Swing. Here it is. Java Swing Online Compiler IDE. If you type that immediately, I think in the beginning of the sessions I have conveyed you Ripple.it. That is a famous compiler, online compiler that will have updated features, right? Because while you are going to execute your GUI programs in online compilers, you will get display error or display exception. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to open up the display monitor. Monitor means the resolution need to be revised. Okay, so that need to be fixed up. So you have to run a macro for that. Suppose if you are running in the local, it is not necessary. By default, your JDK will take care of that. If you are going to run in the cloud, you have to do that. Right? So it is trying to fail. Okay, so let me come through Google, because yesterday I have executed all the exits here, so might be gone down. Let's check. Java Spring Online Compiler. It's trying to open. In the right hand side top corner, you will get that output. So while I'm going to paste the code in the middle content, it will ready to open up. So retrying. Yes, it's getting loaded. Connected. Fine. So even you can, while you are going to do that, don't worry, you won't get these things, because I have rammed up like anything. That is the reason why I got something to work with. See, while you are going to run this, what you have to do here is, this file name is main.java. That is the reason why I have renamed this file here. Right, I have renamed main. So wherever I'm going to get that class name to be used, you have to rename. Okay, I will supply these codes. You can check in the same editor, or you could able to check with your own local system also. You have to change the corresponding main method. If you are going to use your Eclipse, that you have to change this class name, right? Don't use as it is, because for this online compiler, the default file name is main.java. That is the reason why I have renamed the class as main. Actually, this class name was calculator. Okay, so I have renamed it as main while I'm going to execute this. So wherever this main is going to come, so here that main. So here I am calling the corresponding function here. So right wise. So I'm going to run it here. Right. Right hand side top corner. See this, you will get this display warning only, right? It will try to allow. Right side top corner, the window will come. Yes, I think some size is small, right? So shall increase the size. So maybe the fonts are getting increasing. It's not getting increasing. Okay, let it be. Huh? Okay. Now it will be something. The corresponding buttons also ready to work, right? Minimize, maximize, into mark, everything will work. So nothing to worry about that. And the swing, right? Swing logo will be given with your corresponding. Not AWT will come with your coffee cup logo, right? Brewing coffee cup. So here that you will get that corresponding the Hogman. That could be the logo will come here. So when you are going to work it, see that I think the controls are being to be very minimal to see, but you try to see that if I am pressing 3, so it's somewhat visible, right? I think so. I don't have the option to enlarge this window. Right, now it is for you, right? So I have pressed 3 plus 7 equal to. right? So 3 for this click, 3 will be passed towards the corresponding use case, plus the corresponding operator will be trigger the add button. The corresponding next number will trigger the old variable to be refreshed. So finally, as we are going to work with these type of unary operations, so ultimately it is ready to use only two variables, current and the number. Using that variables, it will ready to produce me the result. And you have to understand a point here. I have pressed 3. Okay. While I'm going to press 3, it has to be displayed in the text field. Remember that. That is also a work you have to do. When I'm going to first click press 3, in the click event of 3, what you have to do? You have to write 3 in the text box or text field. Remember. Okay. Likewise, if I'm going to press 7, that 7 has to be displayed in the text field. Right. Now 7 plus 3. If I am going to press equal to addition of 3 and 7. So the variable stored in current and number will be evaluated against this operation. Okay. So that could be the case that you have to do the action or even handling part, what you have to do. So what are all the even handling part you have to do here? Remember, while you are going to click the button, the corresponding button value must be displayed in the text box. That is the first one. While I am going to click the corresponding operator, the corresponding operation must be enabled. Next, while I am going to click the second number, first number and the second number need to be passed as an argument for the corresponding action event. Since here we have restricted only 4 operations, that the number of else ifs that what we have used will work on that. That's it. So if that operation is going to be plus, it is going to be first operation. Likewise, second operation. You could able to categorize depending upon your convention, right? So that could be the case. This could be the idea behind the simple design of calculator with the actions. So the primary thing is what we are doing in the canvas. We are going to place the buttons and text box. Buttons are being managed through the panel via the grid layout. Text field is being placed using the border layout, and again a border layout is being used to merge the text box field as well as this grid of buttons. Okay, so in this way we have arranged the control. Next, what I have to do? I have to write the action event for numbers, action event for operations. Likewise, action listener for numbers, action listener for operations. So these 4 functions I have to write. Finally, what I have to do? I have to manage these operations when without overlapping. For the purpose only, even queue was invoked. Okay, so multiple operations cannot be performed in the at the same time. It has to do in the sequential fashion. For the purpose only, that queue has been designed, right? So that could be the a very simple and easy exercise. I will share you the code in the Google Classroom. Please download the code and execute and see and try to customize this. You customize this calculator in your own fashion, right? That could be the idea I want to give here. And I will show you some more code on this, right? I have some more programs to discuss also. I'll show you. So once we are going to work out on this, you will be practiced with this online compilers too, right? So that's the case, right? So this could be the thing that what we have seen. So next one, clock. These are all the basic exercises to understand and move forward in the GUI, right? That could be the practice exercises. Here we have designed the analog clock without any numbers, without any corresponding indexes. Okay, so we are varying the needles by using colors or by using the length that you could able to vary, right? The corresponding hour hand, minute hand, seconds hand that you could able to vary depending upon the color or depending upon your length and the corresponding length, right? And I could be able to do it. I'll show you the code also here. And likewise, how you have to design the clock, right? It's very easy to do with the geometric shapes. Only thing is you need to do some maths while you are going to design the clock. Just go back and remember, while you are going to study your trigonometry, your math teacher have taught you all silver teacups, right? The four quadrants. Using the four quadrants only, you have to design this. Remember that these four quadrants will be fixed in the screen resolution. Remember, the first section of a day of the graphics programming, I have taught you screen resolution, how it will be, how the X and how the Y will be. So that in that screen resolution, you have to fix our all silver teacups, the four quadrants, 0 to 90 degree, 90 to 180, 180 to the corresponding 270, 270 to the corresponding 360. So how this variations will be there, in which block that this hand has to come, it has to expand, how I have to give the motion for the corresponding hand. So how we are going to achieve that. So those things also we are going to see. But primary thing is, while you are going to design the analog clock, this is what you have to do. Later, incrementally you have to learn. For example, in the next one, here I have incorporated numbers, right? Numbers. I have printed the numbers. I have not used any images. As well as see here, it's an abstract clock. Here you could able to see within the center of the clock, you could able to see again a filled circle is available, right? So the hour hand and minute hand, second hands are being differed by their length and their corresponding intensity on their hue that you could able to see, right? Likewise, incrementally we have to move. Next, here I don't have any numbers. Everything I have drawn. See here, squares are being drawn there. The needle hands, hour hands, minute hands, that you could be able to see that how they are being designed. So here it purely based upon complete geometry. Okay, that is the case. So you have a lot of variation from this one to this one. And finally, this could be the ultimate one. This could be the last one. Once if you could be able to construct this, that you are the master in maths for the geometry pertaining to the GUI environment, right? This could be the case. Here the numbers are being represented using the indices, as well as between the numbers we will have the corresponding quadrants are being mentioned in terms of 4. So how to interpret and convey the time. So that's also a major case. Dear students, I suggest you designing these clocks is very easy once you understood and go the procedure. You try to enhance this. That's what my idea is, right? Try to extend this. Once I'm going to open the clock, let the clock speak. It will tell the time, right? I think this could be the model. This will come in the world Nokia mobile phones and other manufacturers also. You could able to see, right? So text to speech, can you able to produce that? So if you go and incorporate, ultimately we have an intelligent clock from the domain that we could be able to learn, right? That type of enhancements you try to do when you are going to create such type of things, because lots and lots of code are available in internet. By that you could able to get the code and write. But what is the enhancements you are doing? That's the major thing that you have to discuss here, right? This is up to the analog clock. Next one is digital clock, right? Digital clock I have displayed directly in the canvas, only using numbers. How I am incrementing, whether the dots has to blink. You can decide dots has to blink. If the corresponding minute and the corresponding seconds has to come in some other colors. So how that incrementation has to happen? What about after 60? What about after 12? Right. So everything that I have to compute and convey for this, every logic that I have to do on my own, right? So this could be directly on the canvas. This is the second stage, right? Within a text box, I have printed this. There could be a vast variation. Directly doing it in the canvas is something different. Printing the clock in the text box is something different, because text box supports your data in terms of string only, right? So in that case, how we are going to provide that? So these are all some of the problems being asked in competitions. So from that only I have retrieved this, right? So let us see the code. Let us see the code for these clocks also. Okay. So we have executed calculator, and I want to show you We have 10 minutes time. I will show you one analog clock and one digital clock. Yes, this could be your NT analog clock. Right, so there won't be any numbers over on them. So the reason to fetch the Gregorian calendar here is I could able to, based upon my local time zone, I am ready to make the clock to tick based upon local time zone, right? While you are going to run this program in the Ripple IT, the local time zone won't be India's time zone. So it will be something different. If you want to run based upon your time zone, here time zone dot, here you could able to give our corresponding Indian time zone. I think you can get this time zone in the second unit lectures I have taught you, right? So there you could able to give the corresponding Indian time zone and a clock timer that they have designed as a logic. They have set the corresponding content for the dimension of the clock. Okay, so they have added the frame towards the corresponding clock. All the operations are being enabled within the paint event. They have triggered the clock. They are filling out the corresponding hands. They are drawing the cardinals. So this is the math that you have to follow. Start radius, end radius, double theta. What you are going to do here? Assume the pi circle. You have a pi. You will get a subtended angle, right? That subtended angle will give you the corresponding coordinate here. That's what. That is the thing that here we have to calculate. For calculating the subtended angle, for every pi, when it is going to change, you will get this value, right? So here math dot pi whole divided by 2. The reason that what we are manipulate over on that here is subtended angle is always being calculated for the local coordinate, right? Because up to 180 degree only that we are going to calculate. When it's going to cross 180 degree, remember your protector, okay? When it is going to cross 180 degree, again it is going to rotate in the same direction only. So that can be reflected based upon my corresponding minus angles, right? So that can be computed very easily. That is the reason why it has been given like this. So how it has to move. So ultimately, remember the concept of diameter. Remember the concept of diameter. So why the term diameter had come? Just you remember. Wherever if you take and place that corresponding card, you will get the same value, right? So it's like the term. It's like that the story behind your calculating the diameter. So I am going to keep a big rod in the center of a ground. I am going to tie up a thread with a corresponding bullock or a cow. I am making to rotate over on the corresponding ground. So even though my length of the thread may vary, the circumference of the circle will be similar to that. Likewise, the area that I am going to cover will be similar to that. The reason is due to diameter, right? So that could be the common theory, being they have drawn the length of the corresponding hour hand, minute hand, and the seconds hand that you could able to uh, follow on that, right? So what is the action that I have to do for the corresponding line? That has to be done through the draw hands function. Okay, so that's mentioned, and I can be able to mention the colors also. So what could be the count I have to do? After 12, it has to come for the calculation. After 60, it has to come for calculation, right? So likewise, I could be able to mention over on that you could be able to change the length and width depending upon your customized work. Okay, so Gregorian calendar will give me the values from its built-in date and time function. That's what they are ready to work with. And this is the program for this, and I'll show you the program for a digital clock also. Finally, I will show you the output. Right? This could be your digital clock, right? So, so digital clock size that we are going to fix. What is the font that clock numbers has to be displayed? Okay, so the display panel will be fixed on the pane, and we are going to start the clock. So what are the fonts, what are the colors that we are going to mention? It is going to work. Time now, it is the function which will print a clock. Time now. So in the time now, what we are doing? I'm getting my current calendar instance, and it is ready to display the corresponding value in the format that what I'm going to give, right? Because the drawString function, what it will do, whatever the string I'm going to give within that, it will ready to display in the x1 comma y1 position. So in that way, it will ready to print the corresponding clock, right? So that could be the case. So whenever I'm going to face 0, because it will increment, right? It should not come for 10. In that case, what I have to do, so after the corresponding values, it has to come for the subsequent entries only. So in that case, what I have to do, so that is the reason why after 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, after that 10, 11. So how I have to add? I have to add a 0 with the corresponding the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 9. I have to add that 0. Otherwise, we will get double digits. Otherwise, I will get single digit. To overcome that, I try to add the 0. That could be the case. So clock was started, the thread was initiated. So within the thread, here I have given the sleep duration as 1 millisecond, right? Based upon 1 millisecond. Because based upon that thing only, that is, it is ready to tick for 1 second, right? 1 millisecond means 1 second, right? So 10,000 means into 10 to the power minus 3. It will give you for 1 second. So ultimately, the clock will move for the 1 second only. That's what the thing which is ready to show here. And I will show execution of this clock. See. So you have paste here, and class name is clock, but the file name is main. That is the reason why I'm replacing clock with the main. Okay, because it will execute those things only. Main, where we have clock again. Here we have clock. So replace it with the main. Do I have clock somewhere else? Clock. But yes, here we have clock. Here we are instantiating, right? Main. And here we have to change this. So ultimately, so already we have a GUI running, right? I have to stop this. Once it is stopped, I can run it again. Yes, there you could be able to see your clock. Right, and we have to increase that width and height. That's what the clock is not displaying here, right? Otherwise, you click this. Yes, now it got visible. So this is the local time zone where this online IDE was stored. Okay, from where this service instance was launched. That's the local time of the corresponding country it is displaying, right? To change that, you give the Indian time zone. Ultimately, you will get our current time for this, right? So that could be the case that I want to convey here, and I'll post you all these codes. Check it out and run it, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.